So I come from a family with a business background, and after I finished my graduation in computers, I was not really interested in my family business, and I wanted to start something on my own or have a more corporate kind of a career. So I started a Microsoft Training Institute, one of the first of its kind back then, and for about 5 years I did that for about 5 years. Did very well in the beginning, but then the issue was the mistake I did was I didn't change with the times. Moving to online training, etc. So I didn't change with the time. I didn't have the growth mindset to adopt with the times, etc. So I closed it down after 5 years, and I went and told my parents, who are wonderful people, by the way. My dad and mom have been very supportive. I told them that, you know what, can I just go to Bangalore and try a corporate career? And they said, why? Okay, fine, go. And when you get bored, you can come back. So it's been 20 years with companies like America Online, Bank of America, and now with the ANZ. I haven't got bored yet, but things are going well so far. And in my journey, I've also over time done a few things from a personal interest perspective. I learned some photography. I did some scuba diving. I do some trekking. Did some theater. I'm part of a running group. So I've done a few things along the way as well. Achievements. Okay, so it's interesting because I actually won a hot chicken wings contest in the US, in Charlotte, where you're supposed to eat, I think maximum number of wings, way long back, in a minute, and I won that because it's supposed to be super hot. So they have, three different varieties of wings. One is normal, one is hot, and one is extra hot, or something like that. And the extra hot version is what you're supposed to have. And I think for us Indians, that was, I would consider that sweet. But anyway, I didn't tell them that, and I won that contest. And my photograph is still on their wall of fame. I think it's still on their wall of fame. It was there earlier at least, so that is pretty cool. And I think one more achievement which I consider very very sweet and very I have fond memories about is that I had gone for an NGO conference a couple of years back, and it was like a 2-day conference, and we had people from all over India, and a lady from some other city. She's about, I think, 70 years old, maybe 65, 70 years old. At the end of the conference, she told me that, Pankaj, if I had have met you 40, 50 years back, I would have fallen in love with you. So I thought that was a very sweet comment for her to make. So I think, apart from my work, I've been able to take out time to pursue my personal interests. So I did a solo photography exhibition in March this year in Honeycomb Art Gallery, and I thank Nofil and the entire team for inviting me to have an exhibition, a solo exhibition for the first time. That is pretty cool. And from a photography perspective, I have won awards from the Spider Black and White organization, which is a global award, and I'm also certified by Photographic Society of America for their color and travel photography. And apart from photography, I have run several half marathons. Want to train for the full marathon for next year. Let's see how that goes. So I'm part of a group called Runners High in Bangalore, and we meet very often during the week and train for running for the marathon. And so I also have a international scuba diving certification. It's called the PADI certification, and this is just for kicks. And I've also done a basic theatre workshop with organizational theatre with Ranji David in Bangalore, and I've been part of a couple of stage shows as well by the same organization, and that was, I'm quite proud of that. And I was invited by IIM in Ranchi to deliver a talk to their students. So I've never been able to do IIM and MBA myself, but it was pretty cool that they thought that I could come and talk to the students and give them some gyan. So that is pretty cool. I also have a few certifications. I'm a Six Sigma black belt certified. I have the certification, and I have several certifications on procurement from Bank of America and COPC, etc. And I currently manage a large global procurement organization. It's a great team I have across multiple countries. So that is also pretty cool. Turning points, many turning points in my life, but I think if I have to pick one, it would be when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis about 5 years back. Multiple sclerosis, it's not a very well-known disease. It's basically an autoimmune disorder which affects the central nervous system, and there is this condition called demyelination, which happens where the my own immune system or attacks the nerves or the coverings of the nerves, which is called myelin. Thinking of it's bad. So what happens is the nerves get exposed, and depending on which nerve gets affected, that part of the body gets affected, right? So there has been no known reason for why this happens, and no known cure as well. So it is just I think the research is still going on. Every day, every month, we hear about new research findings. So let's see what happens in the future. And but it's probably the biggest turning point of my life, and I just wanted to prove to myself that I can do everything which I always wanted to do. And I think that the most interesting part is all my personal interests, which I spoke about, I have done only after I have got diagnosed with MS. So be it photography. I took up photography after I got diagnosed with MS. Training for the marathon, running, the scuba diving certification. I'm part of MENSA, the MENSA group as well. I did theatre, trekking, etc. Everything. So whatever I have done from a personal perspective, I have done pretty much after I got diagnosed. So I think that was something I took it as a personal challenge, or where I wanted to just prove to myself that I can still do all those things. So. I'm not sure what advices to give other people. I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you what I have tried to follow. And so this also comes from, I guess, poker. Poker is a card game. It's a game of skill, not a gambling. It's not gambling. It's proven in the court of law that it's a game of skill, believe me. Anyway, so in poker, basically you are dealt two cards in the beginning, and the strongest cards are supposed to be two aces, pocket aces. And so what I think is that life is not going to give you two aces every time, right? So I think what I try and do is do the best with the cards I've been dealt. Whatever has been dealt to me, I do the best I can. I think all of us should try and do that, because it's not possible that all of us get two aces. There's only so many aces in the pack. So no question of self-pity. Self-pity is only negative and can get you down. Have a positive mindset. Don't take yourself too seriously. Because I think it's everything is chalta hai kind of approach, and realize that nothing is impossible. Whatever you put your mind to, and if you work towards it, nothing is impossible. Whatever your condition is. And I have this theory where mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and soul, actually, which is the three major components. So I think whether you are sick or not, if all of us were to do something which exercises your mind, exercises your body, and exercises your soul on a regular basis, daily or weekly, I think nothing can go wrong, and nothing will go wrong, and the world will be a lovely place. It is a lovely place. So MSSI stands for Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, basically a group of all the MS persons, people with MS. What we do in this society is basically help the MS people with MS with physiotherapy sessions. We have medical camps which we arrange once a month, where the doctors meet up with the patients and discuss any issues they have, and everything else. So we do everything which is apart from the actual medicine prescription. The doctors are there for that, but we do everything else to support them live a better life. So a lot of money is required for that, obviously. So what we do is we go around asking corporates to sponsor us, and many corporates have been very nice over the last few years to support us in our mission. And of course, we always want more, but they have been very kind to us so far. Apart from that, we also have an annual photography exhibition, which is a group of photographers called TGIS. Thank God it's Saturday, which is basically comprises of all the students of Mr. Anand Sharan, who I also learned photography from. And we have this exhibition once a year where we exhibit and also sell the photographs, and the money raised from that goes towards MSSI. And the exhibition I spoke about, my solo exhibition by Honeycomb Art Gallery, also was in support of MSSI, and all the proceeds which came out of that, I think it's about $1.5 lakh, which we collected out of that, also went towards MSSI. So, but having said all this, if any corporate seeing this is willing to adopt us, please let me know. I think all these things are because I guess I was curious, and I wanted to learn new things and pursue my interests, or what I thought I would like, and I just was very lucky to have got these opportunities come my way, and I pursued them. So I think it was it's a very special feeling when you do something for the first time, be it when you complete your first marathon, or you do your first scuba dive, or you do your first trek. You take your do your first photography exhibition, etc. It's a very special feeling. Like they say, the first cut is the deepest, and it's a very special feeling. So, and from a time perspective, if it's important to me, I will find the time, and if it's not important to me, then I will not find the time. So if it is time is not no excuse really to not be able to pursue your interest and hobbies. So MENSA is basically a global organization. The organization basically tests your intelligence, and if you're found to be in the top 2% of intelligence in the world, among the world population, then you're invited to be part of the organization. So I was lucky to have been invited by them, and I was tested, and they invited me. I think it's good. It's been great because it's excellent resume material. I think if you have done the resume that you're part of MENSA, I think it's great, and it's also useful for showing off. You want to show off to your friends and family that I'm part of MENSA. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm also a certified MENSA proctor. So if anybody's interested in becoming or trying out for MENSA, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. Confused photographer. That's interesting. So I learned photography with Mr. Anand Sharan about 5 years back, and like almost all photographers, I've been trying all the different genres of photography one by one, and I guess that's why the word confused. But I've never wanted to focus on one particular genre. But I think over the last couple of years, especially, I think I'm liking travel photography the most, because one is, of course, I travel a lot due to work, and second is that it forces me to do research about new countries, new locations, new cultures, new scientific facts which I'm not aware of, etc. So I think travel photography would be something I would like to maybe pursue a little bit more, and be less confused about photography. A few lessons which I have learned from my experience is that from a student perspective, I think we all are students, and we all are learning every time in our life. Every moment is a learning moment, and I think we all should have a growth mindset, which is basically wanting to learn new things and be curious, have a curious attitude. So that's very important as a student. And also from a learning perspective, always have a sense of ownership about what you do. So basically, it's not about having 10 people do the same thing, but you need to take, if you want to learn something, you take something, fully own it end to end, and take it to the finish line is what I think I want to do at least. And like I said, be open to learning new things. And as a student, always try to find new innovative ways of doing something new or doing the same thing in a better way. So innovation, I think, is very important, and something we as students, all of us, can continuously strive to do and learn to do things better and differently. And as a photographer, I read a line somewhere which I think is I can relate to a lot. Is don't shoot how you see it, but shoot how you feel it. So I think that's made a big impact to me, that line. So that's what I try and do when I go to a new location. I try and I guess capture the essence of the place before I start taking photographs, if that is possible. And also, I think as a photographer, I've learned is that just like life, remove what is clutter, what is noise in the photograph. Try to remove that and focus on what you want to focus on the primary subject. I think that is something which is has worked for me. And like I said before, when you go to a new location, I think it's very much required for us to do enough research and derive information from the internet about a new place, or talk to a few people about what is the essence of the place, what does the place stand for, what does the culture stand for, and try to capture that in a frame. I think that is very important. And also learn new scientific facts, like I said, how the stars appear to move in the night sky. Great Wall. It's a very interesting fact that when I wanted to go to the Great Wall and to shoot the Great Wall of China, a Chinese colleague let me know there's a Chinese saying. There's a Chinese saying for everything in life. But there's a Chinese saying which goes like, if you haven't walked on the Great Wall of China, you're not a real man. So that's a very interesting saying. And so all these kind of quirky things you find out and learn, and which is very interesting. As a parent, I think there's no real perfect parent in this world, but I have two lovely daughters. One is doing her MBBS, studying for medicine, and the second is in the 10th grade. I think what I'm trying to do at least is be the person I want my kids to be. I think that is probably the best thing I can try and do. I think I really feel that nothing is impossible if you put your mind to it and work towards it. Of course, that's one. I think one more would be pick your battles. Not every battle is worth fighting. Always be positive and don't take yourself too seriously. And look at things from the other's point of view. I think you will learn a lot. If you look at it from a different point of view, from the other's point of view, as to why is he saying what he's saying or doing what he's doing. I also very strongly think that what happened in the past is great, what is happening now is great, and what will happen tomorrow will also be great. I think that's literally a way of being positive about everything which happens. And what has happened to me especially is that opportunities came knocking at my door very often across different areas. And while I may not pursue every opportunity which comes knocking at the door, I at least open the door and say hello. So that's been what I've been for.